In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a website like this startup website, or this resort website, this architect site, this nonprofit site, or this blog. Whatever your profession or goals, you'll walk away from this series knowing exactly how to build a WordPress website from start to finish. And no, you don't have to be tech savvy to get an amazing looking website. There's 3 parts to this series, and in this video, you're watching part 1, where I'll show you how to set up web hosting, how to install WordPress, and how to install the theme. Part 2 of this series will cover building pages, adding your logo and colors, and customizing your theme to your liking. And in part 3, you'll learn how to optimize SEO, set up plugins, and keep your site maintained for years to come. And make sure to watch the whole video because I've teamed up with WP Engine to give away 1 ticket to WordCamp US and a free year of hosting powered by WP Engine. So I've built a lot of WordPress sites in my life. I used to do a lot of freelance client work, and though I don't do much of that anymore, I still use WordPress pretty regularly for building personal websites or sites for my brand. And I have to say, there's a lot of different ways you can build a WordPress site. In this series, we're going to be using the Salient WordPress theme to build our website. And let me tell you, I've tried a lot of different WordPress themes over my life, and the theme you pick is critical to your WordPress building experience. That's because every theme has a different page builder and a slightly different backend and different methods to actually modify the website. So that's why I really like Salient. It's my favorite theme. It's what we're going to use in this video. If you want to know more on choosing the best WordPress theme for you, I just did an entire video on that over here. But just keep in mind, if you choose not to use Salient to build your WordPress website, some of this series is not going to be super helpful for you because the theme just modifies the WordPress building experience that much. Our website is also going to be hosted by WP Engine. This series is actually brought to you by WP Engine, and I can say that WP Engine is some of the highest quality WordPress hosting I've ever tried. If you are looking for a set it and forget it solution, a host you can rely on to handle all the traffic of your website as it scales over the years, and a host who is going to be there for you and offer you helpful live customer support and give you real answers when you have questions, WP Engine is going to be a great choice for you. They're actually offering 20% off all of their plans for people watching this series. You can use promo code CraylorMade20, and you can also visit the link in the description below to get started with WP Engine. So this is Craylor Academy 2.0. For those of you who have followed the channel, you know that I talked about Craylor Academy in the past. It was my step-by-step guide for building a WordPress website from start to finish, and I had to put it on pause for various different reasons, but it's back. Here we go, Craylor Academy 2.0, and the entire thing is now free. So buckle up and let's get right into it. I'm here in my WP Engine dashboard, and remember, if you're getting started with WP Engine, you can use that promo code CraylorMade20 to get 20% off all of their plans. But once you do that, in the WP Engine dashboard, they've installed WordPress automatically, so there's nothing we have to do there to get it set up. And actually, they give us this temporary subdomain that we can paste into a browser tab and get started developing WordPress right away. So if you haven't decided what domain you want yet, or you're not ready to take the step of setting up DNS, you can actually start your WordPress development right now, which is super sweet. But personally, I've already decided on my domain. I know what I'm going to be using, and I figure the sooner I connect my domain, the better, because when you do connect a domain with DNS, it can take a couple hours sometimes to update with caching, and I just want to get that over with right now. So I'm going to click our website, the production site, which is what this PRD stands for. And right here under primary domain, I'll say set primary domain, scroll down and click add domain. And then I can just type my domain name right here and click next. And now there's a couple things for us to look at. WP Engine is offering a free SSL certificate through Let's Encrypt. I am always a fan of this. Free SSL is great, so let's leave that checked. And yes, we want to set our domain as the primary domain for traffic and WordPress admin. Now, this is really neat. I've chosen to purchase my domain through Cloudflare. I have a whole comparison video on the best place to buy a domain name, but Cloudflare has some really affordable domains, and I purchased it right before getting started with this video. And I see here, WP Engine says that we can actually enter the Cloudflare login credentials and they'll automatically configure DNS. This is really cool because usually you'd have to go into Cloudflare, manually copy and paste DNS records. And again, I've got all sorts of videos on my channel, tutorials on how to do this, but this is just another case of WP Engine doing things well and saving us time in this whole process. I'm going to agree to the terms of service and I'm going to log into Cloudflare. And right here, just like that, WP Engine pulled over the DNS records we need. I'll go ahead and click authorize. And boom, your DNS settings have successfully been configured. We've provisioned your free SSL certificates. So now I believe if I go back to my site, I should see, look at that, CraylorAcademyTutorial.com running, connected to our WordPress install on WP Engine. Next, I want to share how to actually log into the WordPress admin panel. And with WP Engine, they make this super simple. You just click your website right here, and then there's this WP admin button in the top bar. I click this and we're automatically going to be logged into our backend. So I'm here in the WordPress dashboard, and the first thing I want to do is configure a couple basic settings in WordPress. We can do this by going over to Settings and General, and I want to start with our site name and our tagline. This is what shows up at the top bar here, and this is what's also going to show up in your browser tab when people go and visit your website. So I'm just going to call this Craylor Academy Tutorial, and for tagline, I'll say an amazing WordPress site with Salient. Whenever you make these changes in the WordPress dashboard, do not forget to scroll down and click Save Changes. That is an easy mistake to make if you're not used to WordPress. The next thing I want to do is address our permalinks. When you install WordPress, it often has a funky setting for the URLs that the pages show in the browser. So under this settings tab, let's click where it says permalinks right here. And you can start to see what I mean. So right now, if I go to a sample page, it would be like CraylorAcademyTutorial.com/P=2 or 3 or some number. And that's not pretty at all. That's not something that we want to see. We want to see things like /contact, /about, you know, the types of URLs that everyone is used to seeing. And in order to get that, all we have to do is change this from plain to post name. And once again, remember to scroll down and click Save Changes. Next thing that I'd like to do is install the WordPress Classic Editor. Now, when we're using Salient, the WP Bakery page builder has a back-end wireframe editor. Don't worry about what that means now, we'll cover it later. But there's a couple extra clicks and steps you have to jump through if you don't have the Classic Editor installed. I think it's just easier to install it now before we get into installing the theme so that we have the best editing experience later on. And I'm just gonna go over to plugins right here and do add new. And look at that, it's right here, Classic Editor. That tells you how popular this plugin is because a lot of people aren't ready to switch to the new editor yet if they use third-party page builders. That includes us. So I'll click install now. And when we install new plugins, WP Engine might ask us if we want to create a restore point. That's because sometimes when you install a plugin, it might mess up and cause a problem with your WordPress installation. I'm not gonna do this because this is a brand new WordPress site, but if you're editing a live WordPress site with important data, it's really nice to see WP Engine give us this reminder. We got the big arrow spinning here, and then we just click activate, and no, I don't want to create a restore point. And voila, we have Classic Editor installed. Now we're ready to really get into the meat and potatoes of getting your WordPress site configured. And the next step is to install the theme. So I've downloaded Salient from ThemeForest, and I've got Finder up right here. If you're using Windows, you'll be using File Explorer. And the reason I'm showing you this step is because we've downloaded a zip file from ThemeForest, and when we go over to Appearance and Themes in WordPress and click Add New and Upload Theme, it is going to expect a zip file. So logic would say we take the zip file we downloaded, we drag it over to here, and we click install, right? But that's actually not correct. We need to unzip this file, go into the folder here, then we see our actual zip file for our theme. So that zip file contains another zip file for the theme. We've got the licensing information with our license key, user guide, the child theme. We're not going to get into using a child theme in this series, but what I'm going to do is just take salient.zip, drag it over to our choose file button, click install now, and Salient will be installed. Great, once it's done, now I'm going to click activate, and this is where the fun begins. This is where we truly get started configuring our website. When Salient is activated, this is the page it's going to send us to by default. And if we scroll down here past all the beautiful promo images, we have the opportunity to begin installing the required plugins in order for Salient to function. So I'll click begin installing plugins. A lot of these are optionally included, but I'd rather just go ahead and install all of them so we have every plugin that we could possibly need to make Salient work as expected. I'm going to check this box right here to include all the plugins. Then under this bulk actions dropdown, I'll click install and then click apply. And after WordPress is done installing the plugins, we have to then go and activate them. Looks like it's finished everything here, so I can go back to install plugins and check this box again, bulk actions, activate, apply. That extra step is a little bit silly. It's something that a lot of people forget to do or don't realize they need to do. So pro tip, don't miss that step. Make sure you activate your plugins after you install them. Now WordPress is telling us everything has been activated. We're good to go. And we know it's been activated because we see this new Salient option on our sidebar. And this is sort of the hub of the Salient theme and where we're going to begin accessing a lot of our settings. Now in the Salient dashboard, I want to actually import one of the demo websites. And I can scroll down here and go to where it says Demo Importer. And right here we have all the Salient demos available to import with just a couple clicks. You might be wondering if there's a way you can view these demos to decide which one is right for you, because if I just click a demo, it doesn't really give me any information. But you can view these. If you go and search Salient demos on Google, you can find the Salient theme landing page and just click demos up here on the menu. It's going to scroll you down and show you all of the same options that you can import. And then you can click view on a particular demo and get the full experience and see what the page looks like, what sort of interactive elements it has, and what the experience is going to be like. And I honestly think this demo is beautiful. It has a lot of the newer Salient elements and features. So this is a demo that I'm going to be importing. I'm going to go back over to my panel here, go where it says Architect and click Import Demo. I'm going to leave all of this demo content on and just say Confirm Demo Import. It's going to take a couple minutes. You can see our progress bar right here, so it's just going to work its way to 100%. Until then, you can kick back, grab a coffee, have a nice drink, and wait for that to finish up. Our demo import is complete. You can see it now says imported on Architect, and I can go ahead and take a look at the pages by going over to Pages and All Pages, and I will just click View on this Architect landing, And look at that. We have the exact demo we were just looking at on the Salient demo pages, but now it's on our website. So we get to modify this, build this out, make it our own. So we're gonna get into actually modifying the pages and using the page builder in part 2 of the series. But for now, I want to install some important plugins that are going to lay a foundation for building our WordPress website, securing it, getting SSL working properly, all these different things I want to address now before we get too carried away with building our pages. Before we go any further, I want to take a second to share the details of our exciting giveaway. I've teamed up with WP Engine to give away 1 ticket to WordCamp US. WordCamp is an exciting event in San Diego, California from September 9th through 11th, where you'll get to hear from all sorts of great speakers on all things WordPress. I'm gonna be there hanging out. It's gonna be an awesome time, and I would love to have you there, but here's the thing. Tickets to WordCamp US are actually sold out, so this is an exclusive opportunity to enter to win a ticket to get into the event, and it's going to be such a good time. WP Engine is also throwing in a year of free hosting for the winner, so you definitely don't wanna miss out. Go to this link to enter. It'll also be in the video description, and I hope to see you there. So I'm back in the WordPress dashboard, and now I want to install those critical plugins I was referring to earlier. The first plugin I want to install is WordFence. Now to get started with this, we can go over to plugins and add new. Now, what is WordFence? Well, WordFence is a security firewall plugin that's actually going to monitor login attempts to your website. It's going to monitor bots and brute force attempts. And it also has the option of enabling 2-factor authentication on your website. So I'm going to click install now. When it's installed, remember you have to click activate. Then I can step through more of what WordFence does, how we want to set it up, how we configure it, and how it is going to protect our website. Great, it's activated, and now we can step through the WordFence setup process. With plugins like WordFence, they require a little bit of hands-on attention. We need to give WordFence an email address, because if some sort of hacker has logged into our website without our knowledge, WordFence is gonna know, and it's gonna send us an email. So make sure you put an email here that you are going to be monitoring and you're ready to react to if you get an important email. I don't want email updates from WordFence as in marketing updates, so we can click no, and we're still gonna get those important alerts. I'll agree to the terms and click continue. Now, I don't have a premium license key. In my opinion, you don't need the premium version of WordFence. I've always just used the free version, so I'm gonna say no thanks. And there is more to the setup process, so I'm going to go over to WordFence and dashboard. And as you can see, now it's walking us through that setup process. So this is your dashboard, okay, next. It's just telling us a bit about the plugin. You can read that in your own time as you step through the process. But one thing that I want to make sure we do is step through these prompts at the top here. It says, to make your site as secure as possible, take a moment to optimize the WordFence web application firewall. And I'm going to click here to configure. And the great thing is we don't have to think too hard about the things that it's asking us because it's going to recommend the best setting for our hosting. So we don't need to get too caught up in what these differences are. We have the one that says recommended based on our tests. I will always download this .htaccess file as a backup in case something goes wrong. But honestly, pro tip, what I would probably do is make a backup in WP Engine before you install WordFence. So that way, if something does go wrong, you can just restore the backup with one click in WP Engine instead of having to manually piece things back together. But I like to download the .htaccess file anyway, because why not? They're giving us the option. So once you do that, click continue, and that's it. The firewall is now optimized. You also can choose to enable auto updates for WordFence. Now, why might you want to consider this? Well, one of the most critical components to proper WordPress security is keeping your plugins up to date. As hackers find loopholes and security vulnerabilities in plugins, they're going to target the sites that haven't updated their plugins yet to patch these issues or to fix these bugs. So yes, I'd like to enable auto update. That's done. Now, WordFence is really doing everything it needs to do to keep our website protected. The only other thing we may want to configure is enabling two-factor authentication for when we log into the WordPress dashboard. You certainly don't have to set this up, but if you'd like to set this up for your website, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So in WordFence, all we need to do is scroll down, and in the sidebar, we have where it says Login Security. Go ahead and click that. And right here, we can begin setting up our two-factor authentication. Now, this is designed to work with standard two-factor authentication apps like Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, and Authy. So basically, you're going to take the app on your phone that you've downloaded. It can be any one of those. You're going to open that up, scan the QR code, and then basically enter the code that it tells you right here. So it might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you would click activate. And don't forget to download these backup codes and store them somewhere secure like a password manager, or print them out and put them in a drawer somewhere in your office. So that way, if for whatever reason you get locked out of your two-factor authentication app, at least you have these backup codes to be able to still get into your WordPress website. The next plugin I'd like to install is called Smush. Now, Smush actually optimizes images that we upload to our WordPress website and compresses them on upload, so that way our pages can load faster. One of the main factors in how fast a web page loads is how optimized the images are. If you've got a JPEG that's 5 megabytes large, it's gonna have to load that big 5 megabyte image file just to display the page. But if it's only 500 kilobytes, your page loads a lot quicker. So Smush takes care of that. When we install it and activate it, you can go over to the Smush dashboard and step through some of these settings. As usual, this is probably a pattern here. It's got a setup wizard. I'll just say begin setup. And yep, I want to automatically compress new uploads. Yes, I'll take advantage of advanced compression. The more the merrier, right? I'll strip my excess metadata. If you don't really know what metadata is, you definitely probably don't need it on your images. So that's another thing that's going to help with file size. Next, we're being asked if we want to enable lazy loading. Now, basically what this means is as our website loads, it may not load all of the images immediately to start displaying the page. But as the user scrolls down the page, images will fade in as they fully load. So instead of having to load 10 images just to display the header section, it'll display the header section as soon as possible, giving the illusion that the page loaded faster than it really did. But it's worth noting that Salient, our WordPress theme, also offers lazy loading, and you probably shouldn't use both features. Since Salient does offer lazy loading, I'd rather not have Smush try to do lazy loading in addition to that, and I think it's probably better to use your WordPress theme's lazy loading feature if it offers it. So in this case, I'm going to disable lazy loading and click next. And good on Smush, they have allow usage data tracking off by default. That's really cool to see them caring about user data and privacy and not trying to trick you into something that you don't want to opt into. So I'm going to finish the setup wizard. Then Smush is just checking the images, seeing if it can compress the images that are already uploaded on our website. If you're doing this retroactively, meaning you've already started to put together your page, you're going to have images that are already in WordPress that Smush can go back and compress after they're uploaded. And you can see we actually have 32 images that we can smush. Now, in our case, these are just images that the demo importer put in, so they're not really that important because we're going to start switching all of these out as we build out our page. But just to give you an idea here, if you've already started uploading images before you install Smush, you can just click this bulk Smush now button, and it's going to step through, compress all the images that have already been uploaded, and we can see our statistics up here of how many bytes have been saved, how many images have been smushed, and sort of see the data in real time of how Smush is saving storage on the server and making our website load faster. The next plugin I want to install is called Really Simple SSL, and the name explains exactly what it is. It's a really simple plugin that helps with SSL. And basically what this plugin does is ensure that our SSL certificate is enforced with our URL. What does this mean? Well, when you use SSL on a website, you get that lock icon in your browser. Without SSL, your browser will say not secure. And sometimes I find that even if you have SSL installed and active on WordPress like we do here, occasionally it will want to load on that not secure URL. And this can be fixed just by going to https:// in your URL, but your user should never have to remember to do that. And what this plugin does is essentially ensure that redirects are set up and that everything is enforced, so no matter how your user types your domain name, the lock icon is going to show every time and SSL is going to work properly. So once you install it and activate it like we just did there, it's kind of funny with this plugin, you have to actually click activate again. We get this prompt right here. It says you're almost ready to migrate to SSL, and we have to click activate SSL. So don't forget that step. I'm going to click activate SSL, and then we should have all of our SSL certificates configured properly and everything enforced. And yes, it's saying SSL is activated on your site. I've personally never used the pro version of Really Simple SSL. I think the free version works just fine, and this is one of the more set it and forget it plugins, where now that we've walked through this setup process, you really shouldn't have to ever use this plugin again. It just kind of lives in the background and does its thing. And finally, I want to install a contact form plugin that will allow us to create an interactive contact form later in the series. This is one of those things that Salient does not include. Some themes do include contact form plugins, Salient does not. So I like to use a plugin called Contact Form 7. It's free, it's really easy to use. So I'm just going to install that now and activate it. We're not actually going to set up Contact Form 7 more than just installing it and activating it in today's video, but now we have it ready to go. So when we do get to this part in the tutorial of building a contact form, we have everything we need to get started right away. And now we're ready to start building our website. We've laid all the groundwork, we've installed all the plugins that we need to beforehand. Now we can open up those page demos and start modifying them. And we're actually going to be doing that in part 2 of this series, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you don't miss when part 2 is released. If it has already been released when you're watching this video, you'll be able to watch it right here. Thanks again to WP Engine for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in part 2.